Good morning, welcome to the Egg Lab. Today, in this pile here, is an N64. Okay, so this pile here is an eBay purchase for a Nintendo 64 that was apparently smashed and broken. So let's have a look at what we've got. Controller, seems okay. Jumper pack, the AV cable. Okay, that looks fine. This does that, so we'll keep those to one side. Let's have a look at the console itself. I can see there's bits of plastic floating around in this bag. So here it is, Nintendo 64. Now I can see straight away what we're looking at. The case is definitely smashed. And obviously this is the cartridge cover, just come off. It's got plenty of muck in there and finger juices. And I can hear something rattling around in there, so let's try and open it up and yeah, all the posts are snapped. It's a shame. Okay, rather dirty looking console there, but other than some broken plastics, I'm not seeing anything too concerning. It was sold as not working. It was sold for spares. So, I don't know. I'm not overly hopeful. I wasn't expecting it to be working at all. So, let's give this a whirl. It was also sold that the power was missing, but it's here. I'm fine. So, I think we need to give this a little test. So, let's do that. I mean, I've not even tested this cartridge, but let's give it a whirl. Well, power light comes on. Okay, so there's no TV signal coming out of it. It powers on, but we don't seem to be getting any AV signal. Okay, I'm going to try a different cartridge, one that's tried and tested. Let's give this a go. No, still not a sausage. It powers on, no problem. Obviously the case is destroyed and it's pretty disgusting in there. So it's going to need a clean up. I've got some plans for this. So first and foremost, obviously it needs a new shell. It's as simple as that. And me being a sucker as I am for a transparent case, I've picked up a nice black transparent case to replace this smashed one. So we're definitely going to do that, but obviously the AV is an issue. Now, there is a HDMI mod. Now, me personally, I like original hardware and I have CRTs, so I like to play them as they were originally supposed to be. But I've picked up this mod anyway, because this one isn't for my personal collection, and if it's got a HDMI mod, my hope is that whoever has this next will be able to use it much easier, and therefore it will get the use that it deserves. So I'm going to have a look at that. Obviously we've got to diagnose the AV problem anyway, but it might be that switching it over to HDMI is the solution. So let's start having a look, see if we can figure out what's going wrong. Okay, so first things first, let's get these screws out. Now, it looks like there's a few different sizes, so I'm going to do my best to keep track. Okay, now we're starting to get a look inside now. So got a lot of capacitors. These are electrolytic capacitors, so there's a good chance after all this time that they could be leaking, but honestly I'm not seeing any signs of it. It's a pretty good looking board, to be fair, other than the obvious places where all the muck's got in, which is around your cartridge port and your switches. It's not too bad. I'll probably consider swapping these capacitors out just as a routine. Let's see if we can get the rest of it out of the case, see what we're dealing with. Okay, so this is our N64. And again, other than being extremely mucky around this area, there's a lot of crumbs and all sorts in there. I think let's get a brush in there. What is that? There. I have no idea what that is. Whatever it is, it's minging, but it's gone. We might as well just give the whole board a bit of a clean, I think. I always do this as well. I get a bit too trigger happy with the spray, with the alcohol, and end up taking these serial numbers off, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. Okay, I wonder if it makes any difference just not having that gunk in the cartridge slot. I think it's probably worth giving it another test. Now I'll give the cartridge slot a good clean. So it could just be that was doing it. So we're going to give it another test. So let's put that together now. We'll put the booster pack in. Let's stick in Mario Kart. Yay! Okay, so we've got a working N64. It was a little bit of debris in that cartridge port, which we've cleared out and then give it a clean with some isopropyl alcohol. And that seems to be working fine now. So it's time for a bit of an update. Obviously it needs a new shell, we're aware of that. We've got one of those lined up. But before we do that, these capacitors are now 30 years old. So it's a matter of time for those, especially around the power area. So we're going to take all those off, replace those with new capacitors, and we're going to give the board a real good clean. So let's make a start doing that. So that's all our capacitors changed. Everything looks fine, but we're just going to give it another little test just to make sure I've not broken it, basically. Let's do that now. Okay, let's power it on. Okay, so it's working. So that's a whole new set of capacitors in, and it's still working, so I've not broke it, which is always a good start. So now we need to have a look at this thing. This is a HDMI mod. So this is what you get in the kit. This is the main board, which has a simple ribbon cable attachment, and then this micro HDMI here, or mini HDMI, I'm not sure what they call it. That fits into the case just under the board. Some handy extra wires. I think the vast majority of it can be done with this ribbon cable here. And this is going to be the tricky bit. This is probably the bit I'm a little bit nervous about. So this is quite small, and if I bring the board over, this ribbon cable here has to be soldered onto the CPU here, pin 6 to pin 25. So we're looking at pin 6 to 25, is that right? No, pin 9 to 25. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's this one here, and the rest will line up. Okay, so update. I've just done a quick test and I'm back to no signal fault. So that was through both composite, which was working fine before, and HDMI. There's just no signal at all. So I've disconnected the mod for a second and just ran through a check of this soldering, which I've checked for bridges. I can't see any visibly, and I know it's very zoomed in, but what I did find eventually was a bridge between 17 and 18. That is definitely bridged. Now, I can't see the source of that bridge. All this looks very separate to me, which made me even think, is it possible that it should be bridged? But I don't believe so. So something is causing a bridge here. So I'm going to try and solve that. Okay, so I think we've found the problem. You may have already spotted it, but basically I'm an idiot, is what the problem is. So, although I know full well that it's 6 to 25, when I've put that in, I've attached it to 9 and gone up from there. So it's not attached to the right pins, is what the frickin' problem is. Complete muppetry on my part. So no wonder the pin was showing me a short, because I'm testing a completely different pin to what I thought I was testing. Absolute moron. So now I've got to, I was so proud of the way I got this ribbon cable in as well, and I've still managed to cock it up because I'm a complete moron. So now I need to get this ribbon cable off and reattach it to the correct pins. Okay, so we're back. We've now once again got it working. It was all down to my own stupid fault. Obviously just lost focus there. Just shows how easy it is to do. But hey, it looks like it's working again now. So now we can finish off the mod. So with the mod in place, put our main board back in. Like that. Now before I do anything else, I'm just going to put this piece on, and that should give me a clue as to what exactly I need to do. That fits on like that, so let's take a look at this. So you can see here, this is where we're going to need to remove a little piece to get access to that HDMI. So I'm just going to mark it with this pen. Okay. Pretty good. Now I can take this piece back off, hopefully. Typically I like to use a drill and make a few holes and then cut those holes into one larger. So let's see what we're going to do about this. It's a bit rougher than I'd like, but I don't think it's too bad. So let's see if that works the correct way. Let's have a look at that. We got this adapter, didn't we? So if this fits, we know we're all good. Yeah, that fits nicely. Bit tight, but yeah, that'll do. So that's it. So next, we just need to wire up our ribbon cable. So that slips with the metal part, the pins down. Should slip nicely into that. And the flap drops down. So here she is, the finished article. Beautiful translucent black case. Now it's time for a test. Power in. In. HDMI. In, and then in goes Mario Kart. Time to switch on. Have an LED, and there it is. Just whip another cartridge in, just as another test. So, mod complete. Bit of a battle really, mainly through my own stupidity when I was doing the HDMI mod. But hey, live and learn. At least I didn't give up and managed to find what the problem was and deal with it in the end. I mean, the case is beautiful. It's so easy to replace the case, and especially when, you know, the old one was smashed. There was no recovering it. So I think this is a great replacement. Translucent black, just it looks the business. Very happy with that. So not ideal, a couple of things gone wrong, but it looks the business and it works on HDMI, which I'm really pleased about. N64 HDMI. Thanks for watching the Egg Lab.